Moving between conception and birth. All I can think is, to do it repeatedly. Even if you don't talk to neighbours notice things. And they would most certainly notice a woman becoming visibly pregnant. What then? The baby's born and they're fussing around the pram and, is it a boy or a girl? And what are you calling it? And so on and so forth. The first time I had a baby, I was very surprised by all the attention, not only from neighbours, but from complete strangers. I was attracting a lot of human beings I didn't actually want to attract, simply by wheeling a pram around. Anyway, people are interested in newborn babies. Now, if you have other plans for that baby, like, for example, swapping it at some point, or bumping it off at some point, or experimenting on it at some point, when it disappears into an isolation hospital. Well, that has to be said, it did occur to me when I was talking about physiotherapy. I'd had something that required physiotherapy, certainly. If you move, well, does this work? Because you're still going to have complete strangers saying, "Oh, is that a new baby?" I've done it myself. Is it a girl or is it a boy? Mind you, if you want to swap babies from a girl to a boy or vice versa, since about 1926, all you need to do is change the colour of the clothing from pink to blue or blue to pink. Not many people know that. It's only since 1926 that pink has been associated with girls and blue with boys. This is where life experience does help a little, because I dressed my second daughter in pale blue most of the time. It suited her colouring. But everybody assumed that she was a boy because of that. People are still going to notice if you're wheeling a girl around one day and a boy the next, unless you just change the clothing, the colour of the clothing. But then again, they might notice the child's appearance as well. Doesn't look like the same baby as yesterday. There has to be a reason here. And then I come to, how do you impregnate at the same time two women who have managed to avoid, on the face of it, being impregnated? One for 8 years, and the other for 7. How do you do this? How do you get these two women who are not apparently all that fertile, or are using contraception? How do you get them both pregnant at the same time? And why does it happen when one man, and one man in particular, returns from abroad? Well, I suppose you could nick the contraception, but no, you couldn't, because back in those days they didn't have the pill. You'd be relying on condoms or something, wouldn't you? Well, punch holes in the condoms. That's that. But if you really, really, really are intent on getting two women pregnant at the same time, way to go is gang rape. And I've been missing out. All along I've known there was a satanic element, and my father was a Satanist. And I've been missing out satanic orgies. Of course, the prevailing assumption is that the woman who is... Take the Devil Rides Out, I think there was only one woman, wasn't there? offering herself up or whatever the hell, or was she offered up? No, I think she was captured, wasn't she? She was unwilling, wasn't she? I think. Don't have the book anymore, blast it. But take the women, drug them, multiple men, and in all probability, bingo. Especially if you're at all up on a woman's cycle and when she's most likely to be fertile. I think that would be the way to get two reluctant women who don't want to be pregnant at the same time. Because if they'd wanted to be pregnant, they would have been in the previous, in Enid's case, 8 years. She'd been living with a man for 5 of those years. And had taken his name for 4 of them. And in my mother's case, I had 7 years. Either babies were born that were not recorded, or were recorded, but in my parents' case in Australia. Or those women were not fertile, or those women did not want more babies. And over, they both got pregnant at the same time when my father came back from Australia. And there has to have been a fairly friendly arrangement between my father and Thomas Montgomery. There has to have been. Otherwise, what would happen if you were living with a woman and her now ex-husband, knocks on the door? And of course, you make sure to knock on the door when Thomas Montgomery's out, but eventually, somebody's going to say, there's been a strange man coming round. He's going to have it out with his wife, lover, and she's going to say, well, actually, it's my ex-husband. What's he coming around so often for? He must be having away. What's wife you going to say? Or Enid, in this case. Doesn't look like he minded very much to me. And my father most definitely did not mind that Enid was living with Thomas Montgomery. Of course, there is a more common or garden explanation, and that's jealousy. Hell, she's divorced me and she's shacked up with somebody else. Got to get back into her knickers. Is that not how some men think? That would be your common or garden explanation. But it doesn't quite end there. It doesn't quite end there. Because at the same time that my mother disappeared into hospital for what I thought was a hysterectomy, Enid gave birth again.